Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be about lymph node cytology and its interpretations, and I'm also going to talk about cytological grading of lymphoma. If you are a person who is not interested in pathology or cytology, then please don't watch this video because this video will be very boring for you. And those who are interested, let's get started. And so this is the 10x view of our lymph node cytology. As you can see, the cellularity is adequate and the staining is also good. Let's compare the size of lymphocytes. So this is RBC, this is standard RBC, and you can see this lymphocyte. This is actually a small lymphocyte. Small lymphocyte is almost 1 to 1 times bigger than the RBC. They have a large nucleus and a thin rim of cytoplasm, which clearly says that they have high nucleus to cytoplasmic ratio. Okay, so predominantly in this field we only see majority of small lymphocytes, and you can see cells whose nuclear chromatin is abnormal. Okay, they have somewhere around finely stipped to coarse chromatin, and you can also see some prominent nucleoli, which is not normal. And as I move the slide this way, you can see this lymphocyte. This is comparatively bigger than the small lymphocyte. This is called as medium or large lymphocyte. Usually medium lymphocytes are almost 2 to 2.5 times bigger than the nucleus, and they also have high nucleus to cytoplasmic ratio. And while coming to the nuclear sizes, the nuclear size varies, right? This nucleus is large, and if you see this nucleus, it is small, and there are variations. This is called as anisokaryosis, which means cells have different sizes of nucleus, which is a criteria of malignancy. As I move the slide, you can see how pleomorphic the cells appear, and you can also see variation in cell size. These cells are smaller, this is little bigger, this is very small. So this is called as anisocytosis, which means variation in size of cells. And yeah, here you can see lot of lymphoglandular bodies, and even lymphoglandular bodies are not uniform. Some are small, some are big, and if you carefully note the intensity of cytoplasm, they are hyperbasophilic, their blue is very intense, which means that the cells are active in multiplication. And here you can see a cell with atypical nuclear morphology. These are called as mitotic figures. Okay, this indicates the cell is actively dividing. It is in a dividing stage. So you need to count these structures also. Usually you count these structures in 40x. So the formula is number of mitotic figures per 5 high power field in 40x. So if the mitotic figures are somewhere around 0 to 1 per 5 high power field, then it means the mitotic index is low. But if you see mitotic figures in about 2 to 3 cells per 5 high power field in 40x, then it is moderate. And and high mitotic index will have more than 3 mitotic figures per 5 high power field. So in this way you can grade the mitotic index in cytology. And even here you can see marked anisocytosis and marked anisokaryosis, and you can see their nucleus is definitely not normal because they all have, see here it is compact nucleus, nuclear chromatin, but this one is abnormal because it's a mitotic figure. And you can see here the nucleus, the nuclear chromatin is clumped, and this nuclear chromatin is lacy. This is lacy chromatin, and you can see variation in chromatin pattern as well, which indicates the cells are active. They are not dormant, they are active in dividing. And these cells that lack a proper cellular structure is called as smudge cells or basket cells. So this can be a cytological artifact, so you don't have to worry much about that. So this is 40x view, and let's count mitotic figures. Okay, so you need to count mitotic figures only in 40x. So we have one mitotic figure here, but other than that in this field there is no other mitotic figures. So let's move the slide, sorry, let's move the field. Okay, and here also we need to carefully evaluate each and every cell. There are no mitotic figures here, and so let's move to a different field. Yeah, there is one mitotic figure here. Let me show you. This is the mitotic figure. So we have seen 2 mitotic figures, and this is our 4th field. Let's see how many mitotic figures are there. Actually, there are no mitotic figures. And let's count the 5th field. Here I see one mitotic figure here. This one, this is a mitotic figure, and I think other than that, I think in this field we don't have any mitotic figures. This is a mitotic figure. This is how nice it looks in cytology. Yeah. And this is how it looks in my laptop monitor. Kindly bear with the poor quality. So we did count mitotic figures per 5 high power field. In this slide, we counted totally 3 mitotic figures per high power field. You need to repeat it several times. At least I recommend you to see in at least 25 to 30 slides before you come to a conclusion. In that way you will the more field you see, the more precise will be your results. So accordingly, time being, we can say that since we have seen 3 mitotic figures, the mitotic index is moderate. So this is an oil immersion in a different field. Here we are going to see about nuclear morphology, and we'll start about nucleolus. Okay, so in this cells you can see dark blue dots, right? These are called as nucleoli. Okay, see, this is a nucleolus and you can see many nucleoli, 1 2 3. Here you can see 3 prominent nucleoli, and in this cell you can see 1 2 3 4 5, you can see 5 nucleoli. Same here, in this nucleus you can see 3 nucleoli, and in this cell you can see 5 nucleoli. So while writing the cytology report, you need to mention the nuclear features. In that, you need to mention whether nucleolus was prominent or not. If prominent, you need to mention how many number of nucleoli did you see per nucleus. If you are seeing in majority of the cells, if you are seeing just one prominent nucleolus, then you need to mention as one prominent nucleolus seen. Or if you see multiple, then you need to say prominent and multiple nucleoli seen in cells. You also need to mention where the nucleolus was placed. Usually the nucleolus is placed in the center of the nucleus, but sometimes they can also be present towards the margin and periphery. Here you can see they are placed towards the periphery. Here some are center, some are towards periphery, and here they are almost diffuse. They are everywhere. One is in the center, one is in the periphery. So you need to mention these also, and you also need to see their size and their shape. This nucleolus is bigger than this nucleolus, and if you see the shape, this is oval, but this is a different shape. This is little elliptical. So you need to mention all these things. Nucleolus can also exhibit pleomorphism. So the more they are pleomorphic and the more they occur, it satisfies the criteria of malignancy. I chose this field because we can see all different sized lymphocytes. See, these are small lymphocytes because the size of these lymphocytes are comparable to the size of RBCs because they are 1 to 1.5 times higher. Okay, and these lymphocytes, the one here, these are medium sized lymphocytes. These are medium sized lymphocytes. But the one you see in the center, it is large lymphocytes. Large lymphocytes are 3 times larger than RBCs. Okay, so the grading depends upon 2 important things. One is mitotic index, which we saw previously. The second one is the size of the lymphocytes. If you predominantly see small lymphocytes, then it is called as low grade. If you see predominance of medium to large lymphocytes in your cytological smear, then it can be graded as high grade. So low grade lymphoma will have low mitotic index, which means 0 to 1 mitotic figures per 5 high power field with small cell size. In high grade, the lymphocyte size will be moderate to high. Predominant of the cells will exhibit moderate to medium to large lymphocytes with mitotic index which is medium to high. Medium means 2 to 3, and high mitotic index means more than 3 mitotic figures per high power field. This is how you can grade lymphoma in cytology.